Hey guys, Mel the Train Tutor here again with another tutorial for you. In this tutorial what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at doing rubble and debris on on our foam board build. Now if you're relatively new to the channel, you've probably not seen this before, okay, but this was the foam board build tutorial building thingy, okay. There's a whole playlist on all of this. I'll throw a link up to it so you can watch it, just go and see how we've got this far. But basically what happened was I was doing it, we had the Help for Heroes thing, it got pushed to one side and it sat at the side of my desk staring at me for months saying, finish me, finish me. So it's time to finish it. So we're at the stage now where all the walls are textured, all the damage is done, and all we've got to really do is do the rubble, do a bit of fortification and then paint it up, okay. So we're at the stage now where we're doing the rubble, because I always do the rubble before the fortification bits, because if you think about it, the building gets blown up before you need to refortify it. Now when it comes to doing rubble, yeah, the typical wargame way is we get some PVA, we blob it around a lot, we throw a load of grit over it, yeah, and that's our rubble. Now in real life, yeah, something that's damaged as much as this is, yeah, you wouldn't have gaps, you wouldn't be able to move through these areas, they would be piled full of rubble, okay, literally full. Just go and have a look on Google for blown up buildings and you'll see exactly what I mean. And in that case, although to do that it would look realistic, yeah, it sort of defeats the functionality from a wargaming point of view. Okay, because you can't get models inside it, not effectively. Okay, and obviously we want these for our terrain, it's terrain for wargaming. So you've got to sort of meet in the middle and sort of do stylized. So the typical wargaming way is, you know, blob the glue down, put the grit down, and all of it stays open and functional. Now, I prefer more of a sort of a balanced approach, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute, but let's very quickly talk, before we go on to onto actually how I do it, yeah, let's quickly have a look at materials and that sort of thing that we use. Now obviously, yeah, we use, various grits. Let me bring these up. Yeah, so, yeah, fine, medium, coarse, yeah, and then what I've got here is I've got a tub of my basing rocks. Okay, now when it comes to these, yeah, I don't actually recommend using these, or only using the very smallest, and the reason being is if you pick a rock that's bigger than your walls, okay, it becomes, it's one of those little red flags. Yeah, your eye will see the piece and it will go, well, where's that rock come from? Okay, so always keep your rubble material, yeah, smaller than the thickness of your walls and your floors. Okay, so in this case we're using 5mm foam board, yeah, so I'm going to keep it at 5mm maximum, which means I'll be using this stuff. Now obviously, like I say, yeah, we can just whack it with glue, cover it over. Let me push those over there actually, because I'll be needing those in a little while. We can cover it over quite easily, but there's other sort of rubble material. Now what you can get is, you can get this stuff. Look at the light, I'm working on my lights guys, it's a bit direct on, but hopefully you've got the detail and everything. Yeah, and what this stuff is, if I can get the plastic wrapping off it, see, I haven't even opened it. Let me tell you all about this product I've never even opened. I've got 2 tubs. Right, okay, this is basically, yeah, gaming, terrain rubble. And all it is it's a thin sheet of plaster that's been smashed up. I'm not sure if this is plaster, or is it, nah, it's too hard, that's probably Herculite or some sort of industrial casting powder. Yeah, it's not plaster, but you can make it from plaster. I'll do it. Let me know if you want a tutorial now, you make this stuff and I'll do one. Yeah, but you can buy it and it does look good, and it's good for this is for basing, to be truthful, but a couple of tubs and, you know, you could do a terrain set with it and it's cool, but you know, you don't really need it, if you know what I mean. Now moving on, yeah, as I've been doing this project, yeah, I have been saving bits. Okay, so I've got 2 tubs here, yeah, And what I've got in this one is all the sort of little off bits of foam and balsa wood and a bit of rebar, a little bit of plastic in there. Yeah, and I'm going to use those for my big bits of rubble. Yeah, and then what I've got here is bits of broken up wood. Yeah, I've got bits of the, what you call it, of the foam board. But what I've done is I've ripped them, I've squashed them. Yeah, and I've made sure that in all cases, at least, see there. Like, you can't even see that, can you? Let me just grab that out. Yeah, in all cases what I've done is I've made sure that the pieces have a bit of wall. Yeah, still showing a bit of the cardboard just on one side, so when I put these down I can stipple it with a bit of what you call filler, and I can make it look like genuine wall fragments. And all this basically does, this stuff does, is it breaks up your grits. So it doesn't just look like the entire thing is broken down to tiny little rocks, because we know buildings don't go like that. So you include a few small pieces of more believable rubble, yeah, and then, you know, it's become so more acceptable to the eye. So anyway, that's what you call it, the materials I'm going to be using. On top of that, you can use things like spare pouches, guns, barrels, all that sort of stuff from like your modelling kits. There's no reason why not. I probably could for this project, I just haven't got any to hand at the minute and I don't want to go digging for them, so I'm going to leave it off. Yeah, but there's no reason why not. Yeah, any little miniature things that you can throw in, little bits of furniture perhaps you've made or dollhouse stuff, it all works. So anyway, that's enough rambling. Yeah, shall we crack on? Let's crack on. Okay, so I've already talked about what we're going to put on it and why we're going to put it on. Now I want to talk about, you know, doing it slightly different to the typical wargaming way, which is all the flat method. Okay, what I've got here is I've got some off-cut pink polystyrene. Yeah, and what I'm going to use it for is I'm going to use it to make, what do you call it, sort of lumps. Because what you actually get is you get piles of rubble. Okay, so that corner, yeah. Sorry, I'm just busy. You don't mind me doing a little bit of work while I'm chatting to you, do you? Okay, basic principle is I've cut like a little triangle, yeah, out of my offcut. And what I can do with that is I can come in and I can put it, say, there. Okay, in that corner. Look at that. Okay, obviously I need to trim the end, don't worry, it's just, I'm doing it quickly so you can see it for the tutorial. Well, basically what this sort of effect does is it gives me the ramp, the lump, okay, of the pile of rubble, yeah, rather than the flat effect. So what I'm going to quickly do now is I'm just going to cut a few pieces out and put them in various places, and I'll show you once I've done what I mean. And it literally is just cutting out little wedges out of polystyrene, you know, there's no major technique to it. You know, dry fit them, shave them down to what you want, yeah, glue them in with a bit of PVA. And once you've done that, you'll be ready to sort of do your surface with all your grits and everything, which will give it the look of being, you know, a more fully featured build. You know, it will give you, you know what I mean. Anyway, guys, I'm going to crack on with this and we'll come back once I've got this done, yeah? See you in a sec. Right, guys, that's all done now, and as you can see, I've got lumps all over the place. So let's quickly just run through what I've done. Now, if you could look at the bottom here, and I hope the light's all right for that. Is that better? That's slightly better, isn't it? I don't know. Can't tell on the camera. Okay, if you look at the bottom here, yeah, I've got lumps along here, either side of here, either side here, either side of here. And what that's going to do is, to the eye looking at this, okay, it's going to break up the sort of like flat cleanness of it. It's going to give it that rubble look, that mass of rubble where things have collapsed, without actually impairing the functionality. Now, if you've noticed, I've got no blobs anywhere in the main flats. I play Imperial Guard, I need as much room in this building as possible. But what I have done is all the corners, yeah, absolutely all of them, yeah, have little blobs in. And the reason for this is so I can just cover it up and I can get that look. Yeah, so when you look in, you don't see right clean right angles. Yeah, because that's what gives it away. Nice clean lines, yeah, well, there's the rubble. Yeah, so by putting these little wedges in, yeah, you sort of break up that nice clean corner. Yeah, now, one other quick thing, yeah, if you look up here, yeah, let me bring this in nice and close so you can see. You'll see that I've put wedges here and here and here. And the reason for that is, these platforms on their own, you could possibly balance a model on, yeah, but it wouldn't be safe. So what I've done is I've used the wedges in this case, yeah, to deny model placement and to basically make it so that no one puts their model there by chance, on the off chance, then it falls down and breaks or knackers something, etc. So you can use these little rubble mounds, yeah, to stop people putting models in places you don't particularly want them to be put in them. But at the same time, you know, I've kept all the main functionality, as you can see. Yeah, I've also put a couple of rubble piles under any big blown out, sort of gaps in the wall, any, the either side of this. See, I'm not even looking. Look, scary face. Once you've seen it, you can never unsee it. Scary face. Okay, and then very quickly, I forgot, although I'm not doing the front, I do need to put some here, yeah, on this. So I'll have to, once in a second, just put a bit there, put a bit there. But overall, that's the mounds done. The next job is to sort of go over it with a bit of filler. Yeah, and what I'll be looking to do is just little sort of gaps in between where they meet the walls, where you wouldn't get a natural sort of gap, it'd just be a mound. Yeah, I'll go in with a brush and a bit of filler and I'll just fill those over. Once that's done, it's time to texturing, so we'll come back at that point. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll put those little bits at the front and I'll quickly go over with, yeah, a bit of texture, a bit of filler or spackle if you're in the US, and some some cheapo brushes. Yeah, and we'll come back to it once that's done. It's a bright new day and I got this done all last night. So let's have a quick run through of what I've been working on. Like I did say, that what we were doing is we were using filler and these brushes, and we were covering up all our little polystyrene rocks to make our little ramparts, except not ramparts, but the supports for our rubble. Okay, now you'll also notice that I've put some big thick blobs down in various places. Yeah, and that's once again to sort of break up that cleanness of the build. Okay, once these are covered over with a bit of rubble and everything, you won't see wide flat floors, you'll see a rubbly floor. And although it looks like rubble, it's still got the functionality. These aren't going to stop us placing models in this building. Yeah, and as a guard player, I need to get as many models in here as possible. Yeah, another quick point out is you can see that, that I've used like little bits and covered over on these corners to stop people placing models there. And a quick spin round the front for you. Can you see the front there? Yeah, do you see the front there? I've sort of made it sort of ramp up, covered these two corners, etc. Yeah, so we're good to go. Now the next stage is actually putting our rubble on. Yeah, and for this you're going to need our glorious PVA. Come on, open up. Right then. Okay, when it comes to our putting our grit and our gravel on, etc., I did sort of talk about this at the start, and we did say, right, you know, avoid the really big rocks, the rocks that are bigger than the walls. And what you want to be doing is sticking with your sort of, you know, your medium, your sort of fine, and then you're very fine. Now, on top of that, we've got the little offcuts I've been collecting while we've been doing this. Okay, and what we've got here is, like I showed you at the start, yeah, all our sort of lots of little bits that don't look like rocks. Okay, and then here what I've done is I've just got a few little planks and a larger bit of foam board, yeah. And I'm going to place those in strategic positions at the start just to get that real look of, you know, this is bits of building. Okay, now I don't need many of those. I mean, the more the better, to be truthful, because the more realistic it is. But, you know, I don't actually need that many for this build. Or I'm not going crazy, should I say. So, obviously, we need PVA. So what we're going to do is crack on all along here. Come on, PVA. Come out. And I'm not just going to cover this up. I'm going to splodge around here, 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 here. I'm going to do a few different places, okay? Oh! Do you see that? Look at that. Talk about glue-ageddon. It's about half a bottle come out there. I was not expecting that. Now luckily, I already know that I'll just cover all that with gravel. Right, let's crack on. You see that though? Right then, as you can see, it's all it's all glued over. I've covered all the mounds. I've also put some random spots round about, and I've only just done this side for the moment because I'll crack on with this. You know, once you see me how I do this, you know, there's no need to watch me do all of it. So first thing we're going to do is get me planks. I'm just going to put a couple of random ones in random places. Yeah, put that one there. Stick another one. Let's have a bit of masonry. Where there? Yeah, so the planks have gone in. Yeah, and these will stick above the normal grit and the gravel and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and look like say, bits of the building. Hopefully. Yeah, now I just very quickly, yeah, cover the bottom of that, because obviously you get stuff that drops on the planks as well. Yeah. They wouldn't just be sitting on top. So now our key features have gone down, it's time for our little bits, and what I'm going to do is with these little bits here, I'm just going to get a few, just sprinkle them in random places. Oh, someone wants me. Yeah, don't worry if you get too many on or anything like that, yeah, because at the end of the day, like all the grit and the gravel, yeah, they'll fall off if they don't belong there. How crazy does that sound? Right, so those bits are on. I want a bit more just at this entrance here. Not too much though. Right, next one. Not that bit. Not that one. We'll get there. Not that one. The last one that was already open. Okay, big bits. Yeah, so as you can see, dropping them everywhere, I always do. Just sprinkle them around. You want to be quite heavy on this stuff. Yeah, you'll need to throw it up towards the corners as well. Throw it. That's it, folks, just throw it in there. Sod it. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, a bit more there. Okay, next one, the more medium stuff. Yeah, you want a pretty heavy distribution of this as well. Throw it in there. And give it a good shake about. Yeah, we want to cover on there as well. Yeah, same up here. Yeah, just drop it on. Bit of a shake around. Now you're going to say, but Mel, why didn't you it? Why didn't you save or all these bits and put it on paper? I don't know, I forgot. Right, you can't even really see what I'm doing there. Right, so that's how it's looking at the minute. Now obviously quite a bit of that's got to be poured off. Yeah, what we'll do is just on the wide areas, I just want to go in with a sprinkling of really fine. Yeah, in fact what I'll do is give it a shake. Shake off as much of the excess as possible. Yeah, and then what I'll do is very quickly just look for where there's gaps and then just sprinkle on my fine. There you go. I'm not sure I did such a good job in throwing in that corner, but let's just fill it with a bit. That's better. Oh, and that's full off. Right, I'll save that. And that can be that can be terrain on another side. So, what we're looking at, well there you go. Yeah, that's rubble. Now that will not affect you placing troops in there. You'll be absolutely fine placing troops in that piece. Okay, but the floor's broken up, you know, you can see bits of masonry, bits of the building structure, you know, there's lots of the small rocks, the dust that you get with debris, etc. Yeah, so guys, that is basically how you rubble it up. Now moving on from here, two options. You can give it a seal with watered down PVA once it's dried, anything from like a quarter PVA, yeah, to 3/4 water to a 50-50 mix. You know, it's down to you. A bit more in there. Yeah. Yeah, now what I'm going to do is all this stuff that's here, I'm just going to scrape up, yeah, and I'll use that for my next dump, so to speak. My next big dump. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm going to crack on with this, and, you know, I don't know if I'll get this finished in time for when I need to get the video uploaded. Yeah, because I need to get it uploaded tonight and finished editing. So you're probably not going to see this all rubbled up until until the next video, which will probably be painting it up, to be truthful, or putting a bit of sandbags and stuff like that. Anyway, that's how to do your rubble, or that's how I do my rubble. Yeah, you can see how, you know, by putting those support structures under, you know, that foam and covering it with filler, it's giving it a really broken texture. I really hope that, you know, you're sort of getting this across. Okay. Yeah, I've got to get used to this camera. Right, where's the lens? Right, there you are. Yeah, so there's that one. Yeah. Yeah, and then the top floor. And there you have it. Right, I think that's good enough. You've seen the effect. Okay, guys, that was adding rubble to your foam core builds. Hope you liked it. As always, if you've liked it, throw a like, yeah. If you know someone... Oh, chill. That's the dog. Just 1 second. Right, guys, back in a sec. What a palaver the wife coming back causes, eh? Anyway, guys, as I said, let's start again. It's ironic we're starting again with finish, but there you are. That's how I rubble up my buildings. Yeah, I hope you found it useful as always. Like I say, throw a like on it if you like it. Yeah, share it with your mates if you know anyone who'd find this useful, that sort of thing. Yeah, as always, if you've got any questions, throw them in the comments. I'll gladly answer. I always answer my comments. And if you've got any experience, any tips, any things you do differently, throw them in the comments, because I'm always after learning new things. And, you know, I like the comments being a good resource of ideas. So terrain builders, you know, get your word in, guys. Finally, obviously I'm going to be working on this, and, you know, I'll be seeing you in in future videos. And if you're new to all this malarkey, if you haven't subscribed by now, yeah, go check out my channel, see what it's like. And if you really love my videos, yeah, check out my Patreon thing, but that's a whole new thing. There's a link, you know. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.